Hello everybody and welcome back to Caskin Point. Today we're going to be trying something that I've been looking forward to trying for so long. Today we're trying Booker's Rye. So if you're not familiar with the story behind Booker's Rye, this was a rye that was released in 2016 as part of the Booker's lineup. The Booker's lineup usually has about 4 releases a year. They're $90, $100 bottles, and they're very good. They're usually cask strength 7-year-old bourbon whiskeys, and they're usually a blend of different warehouses, and the end concoction is usually pretty solid. Nothing absolutely crazy, but for 90 bucks, not the worst deal in the world, maybe not the best, but that's neither here nor there. But Booker's Rye is different. Booker's Rye comes from a bunch of barrels that were laid down by Freddie No, the man himself that started the Booker's lineup in 2003. And after 13 years, those bottles were at such incredible quality that they were bottled and they were put under a special release known as Booker's Rye. That release obviously had an MSRP at the time of about $100, but today it yields approximately $2,000 on secondary markets because many claim that this is the true greatest rye of all time. And if not the greatest rye of all time, it's at least the best rye that's been released in the last 10 years, really only rivaled against some maybe legendary Willett ryes like Doug's Green Ink and Doug's Black Ink and all that good stuff that I've talked about on the channel here a few times now, and maybe one day we'll try, but we'll see. But today we're going to be trying this Booker's Rye, and I could not be more excited. Like I said, this is a 13-year, 7-month release. It's 136 proof, so just statistically an incredibly impressive product, but the fact that it's commanding that much on the secondary market, and many people claim that this rye is the one that's worth it, that every penny you pay for this bottle is going to be worth it because it is just that good. So we're going to find out if it really is, but we are going to begin with a few palate warmers here. We're going to try some ryes that are a little bit more easy to get and a little bit cheaper on secondary markets, just to give us a little bit more of a basis as to how the Booker's Rye really is. So I have the good old Forester single barrel strength rye K7, so the best warehouse and floor combo in my opinion, 131.2 proof. I paid $150 for this bottle, and back then that is what the secondary market was, so it made sense. Secondary has fallen on this. This should even be easier to find out, about $100, and then a good old Willett Rye here. MSRP on this bottle is going to be $350. It's a 9-year, 134.4 proof. I have done a short on this bottle, but I haven't really sat down with it in a review yet. So we're going to try these first, just to give us a little bit of a basis, and then we're going to try the glorious Booker's Rye. So let's get right into it here with the good old Forester here. So this old Forester Rye, like we said, it's K7, 131.2 proof here. Smells very fruity, very, very good. Wow, yeah, a lot of jam on this one, apricot on this one, a lot of fig on this one as well. Definitely some oak in there, definitely getting some mint in there as well. Definitely can smell the rye in there. It's very bourbon friendly though. There's vanilla, there's caramel, there's a much more typical bourbony flavor profiles here. But wow, that's really nice. Let's take a sip. Solid, solid. Nothing too special, but very, very good. I think one of the best bottles on the market for the price. I think this is a bottle that people have gotten to really neglect as of late because I get it. I know they've been producing a lot more of it. I know it's only 6-year juice and some people want older than that, but that's good. I mean, for 90 bucks, that's just a great deal. Great bottle right there. And I've tried a bunch of different warehouses and floor combos, and honestly, they're all pretty similar. I really liked H7 and K7. I3 was a little bit more grassy to me, but the more recent ones like the L1, K1, stuff like that have been releasing, those are pretty much as good. So yeah, this is really nice. I'll take a quick second sip here. We'll give it a rating, but honestly, it's solid. Yeah, it's good. It's very fruit forward on the nose, a little bit less fruit forward on the palate, but I think a great starting basis for a rye. I think if a bottle is better than that, I can wholeheartedly say that is a very, very good rye. If a bottle is worse than that, I may second guess whether or not I really want to spend good money on it. But I'm going to go ahead and rate that a 7.8. I think it's just super solid. I mean, it's really getting close to that weekly sipper level. It's that good. And for the price, just absolutely delicious. Let's try this Willett Rye. So like I said, this Willett Rye here, 134.4 proof. There isn't that much secondary market on those, so this isn't the hardest thing to find. Like $300, $350. A good buddy of mine named Pardosa did end up hooking me up with this bottle at his cost. I really appreciate it. And fun fact, it's actually bottle number 1 out of 84. So I guess that's another cool tidbit of it. And to my knowledge, the 3rd highest Willett Rye ever. The highest is 140 proof. And the second highest that I've seen is 135.0, which is a sister barrel to this. This is 60-60. The 135 is 60-63, so pretty close. I'm sure there's one or two in between those, but it's one of the highest proof Willets ever. It smells very, very good. Definitely a little bit more tame on the nose than that Old Forester. To me, a little bit more mint forward, a little bit more of that kind of dill, rye forwardness. Definitely a lot of that rye candy though, and still a little bit of that jam. To me, what really makes a great rye is a really robust fruity flavors. I think when you have that plus the spice, you just have such a good pour of whiskey. But we'll see. I mean, I really don't know how Booker's Rye is going to stack up here. But this is very good. Let's take a sip. It's solid. It's surprisingly light on the palate for 134 proof. It drinks like 110 proof, which is not something I think is a positive in this case. I would have liked a little bit more punch and flavor on this one. I will take a second sip here, give it another chance, but it's solid. It's slightly better than the Old Forester, but I think through the lens of this bottle being 3.5 times more valuable, I don't really see it. Definitely unique, definitely very good. Definitely not disappointed that I have the bottle, but not one that I think people need to run out and have multiples of and stuff like that. But very, very good. And I will say, if the Booker's Rye is this quality, I'm going to be incredibly disappointed. So I have high hopes for this Booker's Rye. But yeah, this Willett's good. Let's take a second sip. Okay, on that sip I got a lot more flavor. Definitely opens up to like a really rich rye candy. Coconut, seagrass, those kinds of notes on it. The sugarcane kind of notes on it. You definitely get into some dill, some mint. Definitely a little bit more heat on that one. A little bit of fruitiness. I would have liked more fruit on this. I think more fruit on this bottle could really make this incredible. Because it's actually doing the rye elements really well. But it doesn't give you really all that much in the bourbon-friendly department, which is okay. I mean, if you're more of a rye drinker, you'll definitely like that Willett Rye a lot more. I think they're pretty close in my eyes. I definitely like the Willett Rye more, but it's not as different as I hope it would. But I am also definitely tasting that it's 3 years older here. Very, very good. That, to me, is an 8.1. Solid pro whiskey. If it was $200, I'd feel a lot better about it. At $350, a bit harder to justify. But I think it's time to have what you are all here for. This is Booker's Rye. Oh, wow, that's a lot of caramel. So Booker's Rye was on a legendary list that I had mentioned during my King of Kentucky review, where I said that there were 5 whiskeys that I always wanted to try. And I said, if I had tried these 5 whiskeys, that's how I knew I really made it in the bourbon world. The first was King of Kentucky, which I did a review on and I own a bottle of. The second was Booker's Rye, and then there were 3 others. There was Mr. Sam, there was Pappy 23, and then there was an old Willett sourced bottle. And so I haven't tried the latter 3 just yet, although I do have samples of a few of them. So we will do those reviews in due time. It's going to be nice to try some Booker's Rye. I'm so excited. This is a sample from a good buddy of mine named Noko. Noko is one of the admins of Mario Party. Mario Party is a pretty popular Discord group, so definitely good shout out to him for hooking me up with this sample. Really appreciate it. But anyways, very, very rich caramel on this one. Super rich caramel, just jumping all over this pour. Really, really rich stewed dark fruit on this one. Like, it's not a big bright red cherry. It's like your cooked blackberry notes, really stewed fruit notes on this one. Really dark notes. Definitely a good amount of vanilla as well. Vanilla, caramel. Wow. I mean, it smells hot as well. It smells really, really hot. But if I'm being honest, I mean, the nose isn't particularly impressive. Let's take a sip. Wow. Wow. That's good. That's good. I don't think it's $2,000 good. Some people have said this is really the this is the end all be all. It's really good. I mean, it's really, really good. But, $2,000 is not a cheap pour of whiskey. But man, it really hits all the rye spots. I mean, this is not really a bourbon-friendly rye. And as somebody that's definitely more into bourbon than they are into rye, but kind of getting to the territory of rye, Obviously, the more bourbon-friendly ryes, like that Old Forester for $100, really going to be super up my alley. I think a lot of the MGP products that I have, like a lot of these River Roots bottles here, very, very bourbon-friendly ryes, even though they're 95.5 MGP. So you would think that they're more rye forward, but actually some of them can get really jammy and caramel forward. This is a rye drinker's rye. I really couldn't recommend getting this if you're just getting into ryes, if you're just getting into the bourbon community in general. But man, that's really robust and really hot, really nothing like I've ever had. I don't know if I've ever really had a 136 proof rye, let alone a 13-year, 2000 secondary legendary bottle like this. It's really, really nice. But I will say, it's not as impressive on this nose as I was expecting. I mean, I'm really trying to get the notes here. It's very complex caramel, but that's really what's jumping out by far the most out of here. There's definitely going to be a little bit of pepper in there, a little bit of allspice, kind of cinnamon, nutmeg in here. Some vanilla in here as well, some very rich oak in this. Wow, I mean, it really smells like a great rye. Let's take a second sip. Wow, that's good. That's really, really good. But is it really blowing me away? Oh, man. I mean, this is a lot of why I wanted to bring in the Willett and the Old Forester to really give us a comparison here, because it is good to have a nice basis of things that we're more familiar with when we're trying such insane pours. Because I'm being honest here, this isn't $2,000. I actually don't even know if this is like $600 to me. I mean, this is good. It's going to blow these two out of the water in their overall score. I mean, this is at least a mid-8s here, but I mean, I had high hopes that this could be a 9, a 9.3, all these things. And for me, it's kind of lacking in the complexity. I mean, it has that really, really robust caramel, brown sugar with all the mint and all that on the nose here. Has a little bit of Jim Beam nuttiness in there as well, which is nice. I mean, I do like that nuttiness. I think it's an extra element on top of everything else. It's really a pour to sit with, though, because I will say I am getting more and more out of this nose as I give it more time. Wow. I don't know, $2,000. I mean, I will say as I keep going back to it, I'm almost getting like this funky, like, dusty note on it, which is really nice. Wow. Yeah, that is good. I mean, you know, it kind of smells like 2003. Wow, I mean, this was distilled, I was a year old when this was distilled, so yeah, it smells pretty funky. It smells really, really good. And I'm actually growing to like this nose more and more over time. And I like to use brevity in my reviews. I think it's important that reviews aren't 20, 30, 40 minutes when they just don't need to be. But I will note, I mean, this is just opening up so much. I kind of want to really take my time with this one, really sit with this one, because look, I want to be totally fair, totally open. It's a $2,000 bottle of whiskey if you tried to get it today. So the standard is really high here, but that nose is slowly growing to something that I could really see be something absolutely special. Yeah, you have that dusty quality on it. You definitely have that allspice that's getting stronger. You definitely still have that complex caramel structure on it as well. Just layered caramel on it, like a caramel candy. Wow. Wow, that's good. Let's take another sip. Oh, wow. So I tried to leave that one in the mouth a little bit longer, really get the flavors. It's definitely not drinking 136 proof. I will say the hottest proof drinker here was honestly the Old Forester. I think something about it being 6 years, 130 proof, definitely there. But yeah, this is interesting. It really does have that nice dusty quality to it. And I think what's special about this is that dusty quality that people really like. And what leads people to pay $500, $1,000 for a lot of these dusty bottles is just that kind of dust funk to it. It basically just tastes like dust. And some people just fall absolutely in love with that note, and the only thing you could really get it on is a bottle that was distilled in the 1980s or 90s or maybe early 2000s like this one. But usually that dust funk that I actually do really like myself is usually backed up with an 80 proof whiskey that's just not at all impressive. Where I think this one is special is it's giving you that dusty element to it, but it's also giving it to you at 13 years and 136 proof. And so it's almost giving you that dustiness to a degree that you just wouldn't really get on much else. And maybe that's what makes this so special, because it's a mix of that and just all this really rich rye. Wow. I mean, I'm falling in love with this pour more and more as I drink it. I don't think it's worth $2,000. I think that it's a collector's item at that price. I mean, maybe $500-600, which is saying a lot. I mean, that itself is an incredible pour of whiskey. But I don't know. I don't know if I can get to this one at full secondary. I mean, that's just a lot of money. Wow, it's just so good though. I mean, it really does smell like nothing I've ever had. And, you know, going back to the Willett rye here, which is definitely the most similar. I think the Old Forester really in its own camp here. But that Willett rye, I mean, as it really opened up in this glass here, kind of the alcohol sugar stuck to the glass, it actually gets very herbal in a way that I don't think that this Booker's rye is herbal. I don't think it has those typical negative flavors that I would associate with rye. There's an herbal, lavender. I mean, that kind of stuff just isn't really my cup of tea. I think if it's part of a pour, I can accept it. Like in a Four Roses, I can accept that it's there and, you know, it adds the complexity, and sometimes, you know, it's not too bad of a pour. But if I'm talking about my ideal pour, it probably doesn't have all that much of it. And I'm really not getting much of that. I mean, I get a little bit of mint, but like a good, nice spearmint, not really, you know, a kind of mintiness that I wouldn't really enjoy. Not really getting like those kind of swampy lavender, clove flavors that I just don't like too much on ryes, and most people really turns them off from ryes. Wow, but that dusty quality on it is just getting stronger and stronger over time. All right, let's take this final sip here. Let's give it a rating. Wow, so much richness. So much caramel, so much spice. That dusty quality is really strong in it. But if I'm being honest, it's not that good. It's really, really good. It's one of the best ryes I've ever had. I don't think it's all that much better than that Willett rye. I'm going to rate that an 8.5. I think overall there are a lot of other pours that I would take above this. And, you know, this is my first try with Booker's rye. It's possible that if I had a whole bottle and it opened up, maybe it would change a little bit more. But to me, I mean, this is really hitting a lot of the elements that I love out of a rye. Probably the highest rated rye that I've had, I think, 8.5. I don't think I've had a rye rate in that range. I think pretty much anything above that is going to be a hazmat bourbon that I really enjoy. And I think this is definitely the best rye I've ever had. I think it's better than any of the MGP 95.5s that I've had. But honestly, I could see a 135 proof MGP that's really, really fruity, honestly doing as well, if not possibly even better than this one, if I'm just being completely honest. I think it's really there. I think if you really like the caramel on it, I think if you really, really want those rye-forward flavors, you can find a lot that you like in this pour. And I do like this pour a lot. So I'm not going to go in here and tell you that this is worth $2,000, because it's not worth $2,000. But if I found it for $500, honestly, if I found it for $1,000, I'd probably buy it just because of the novelty. But if I was really drinking it in a blind constantly, I think, you know, a couple $100 I can get behind. But anything more than that, I think you're looking at more of a collector's item. But anyways, I hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you again so much, Inoko, for sharing the sample with me. Don't know if we'll be trying Booker's Rye again sometime soon, so really want to cherish this moment with you guys. Thank you all so much for tuning in, for staying until the end. I hope you all have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.